Hello everyone, this is Michelle from Shelly's Craft Cottage, coming to you live from Aiken, South Carolina. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I do my mystery card lives on Monday each week, except the second week of the month because I have Quilt Guild that night. Excuse me. So you can look for me every other Monday, except the second one. And I hope my friends are here tonight. I hope my new friends are here tonight. If you're here, please say hello. And if at any time during the video I get ahead of you, just let me know. And I will try to straighten that out a little bit. And I will slow it down or repeat the directions, whatever you need. Okay? So I went over materials that you need to prepare. Cut a base 4.5 by 11. So this will be a long-standing, a high-standing card. Score it at 5.5. On the front panel of that card, after you fold it, you're going to trim a piece that's 2 3/4 by 4 1/8. No, you're going to cut off 2 3/4 of that front panel of the card. Okay, so it'll look like this when you're done. Okay, and that 2 3/4 by 4 1/8. That panel that you cut, you're going to trim it to 2 3/4 by 4 1/8. It's been a crazy day. Okay, so you're just going to trim that down just by a bit. You need some DSP that coordinates with your cardstock. One piece is going to be 4 by 5 1/4, and the other piece is 2.5 by 4. You're going to need some white or very vanilla cardstock that measure 2 5/8 by 3 7/8, and emboss that prior to now. Then you're going to need some white or very vanilla cardstock, 2 5/8 by 4 3/4. You're going to choose some image or images that will fit on that 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. That piece that you embossed, your image is going to need to fit on there. Okay. You need some scrap paper for your sentiments and your stamping your images. You need coordinating ribbon, or in my case I use twine. You need some adhesive, what do you call that? Mono liquid glue, and some dimensionals. You're going to need a stamp set or sets for sentiments and your greetings and the image that you're going to be stamping. Hi Nancy, welcome again. And then you need coordinating inks and embellishment, or you can use black. Now the stamp set that I'm using is coming out May 1st. Demonstrators were able to pre-order, so I ordered this Country Flowers. So I'm going to be using 3 pieces from here. And it has its own dies, so I'll have the dies I'll be using. Now the paper that I'm using comes from 2 different new papers. Country Lace is one of the ones I'm using, and I'm using Country Woods. I'm using the piece that looks like a piece of wood for my bench. Should be one in here. This one. I'm going to use that for my bench. Okay. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's get started. So clue number 1 says, fold and burnish your base. So you're going to take your card and burnish it with your bone folder. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't stick up too much. And then you're going to use liquid glue to center this 2.5 by 4 inch. Somehow that doesn't look right. 2.5. This should be 2.5. I need to go cut a piece, so please hold on a minute. If anybody else is here, please let me know. 2.5 by 4. Of course, I don't have that over here. I apologize. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, that's better. So it should be 2.5. I apparently cut mine 2.25. So the directions say to glue this here. So I'm going to center it. And glue it. My computer is buffering, so I hope you can see it, Nancy, and whoever else is visiting. Okay. Because this is paper onto cardstock, you don't really need much glue. The amount I just put on was very small, but it's all you need. Okay, and we're going to set this aside for now. Okay, that's the end of clue 1. Clue number 2. Center the 4 by 5.25 DSP on the inside of the card. And as you know, as you see, I am using that new basic beige, which is so nice to have. It's kind of a sandy looking color. I'm really excited that they added this back into the into the mix. Okay, and like I told you before, stay about 1/4 inch away from the edges of your paper. Because when you squish it down, it flows, and you don't want it flowing outside the card, outside the, why is this acting up here? Okay, let me try my other one. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so now we're going to close this. And this is part of the card. This is the base of the card. My DSP is bigger than yours. What's that mean? Did you cut it 4 by 5.25? Or the other piece? Did I put the wrong directions? Did I put it wrong on the directions? 4 by 5.25 and 2.5 by 4. That's the 2 sizes I had on there. Just take a minute to cut it down. Okay, so center that and adhere to the inside of the card. Now we're going to do some stamping and coloring and die cutting. So I'm using that little bench that was on here, and there's a die for it. Online it says 5 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. Oh, I'm sorry, Nancy. Because here it says 4 by 5 1/4. Because the card is 4 1/4 wide, so I wouldn't have. Yeah, I guess I made a mistake on that one. So I didn't want to color and fussy cut and cut out the stool, so I used that paper Country Woods, so make it look like a bench. So that one I won't have to do. But I'm using these flowers and this pot. So I will do that. It's minimal coloring, so it won't take me a real long time. So this one I'm going to do in black. The flowers. Sorry about that, Nancy. Got it fixed. How was everybody's weekend? It was relatively quiet. We had company over last night. Invited my husband's daughter and her mother and her son to come over for spaghetti. I made spaghetti with meatballs and sausage. So they came over. We played a few games. We had a nice evening. Okay, now I'm going to put a little pot on there, but this one I want to do in a brown, because I don't want it to stand out too much against that paper, against the, so I'm doing it in crumb cake. No, nope, I take that back. I am doing this in black. And I'm going to stamp this, so that's what I was thinking of. Okay, so this one's going to be done in black. Wish this would stop buffering. I can't see. But as long as you guys can see, you tell me you can. Okay. And so I'm going to get the bench out. And I'm going to stamp it right on the paper. I hope I get it as straight as possible. And I'm going to do that in crumb cake because I don't want it to be too much of a contrast. So I'm going to stand up to do this so I can see, because this will be a bit tricky. This piece is already cut. Make sure I got a good ink on here. Probably would have been smarter to just stamp it, then cut it. See how well I do. Well, not bad at all. My original one, I think I stamped it first, then I went and cut it. But that's okay. Now I'm going to color. Now, this is one of the new colors that are coming out. This is called Dark Petunia Pop. And, yep. Oh no, I did it pretty in pink. I take that back. So I'm going to color the flowers pretty in pink. Now the way I like to color is just in little circles. I don't want everything to be covered. I want to leave some white, and I'll show you why in a minute. My allergies are driving me crazy. Never had allergies till I moved south. Okay, so see how I've left some white out there? So I'm going to take the dark now, and I'm going to just highlight some areas that I want to make it dark. Like maybe in the middles here. A couple petals. Okay. Then I'm going to go back with my light and pull it all together. Pull all that ink in together. Now the areas that are white will only get one layer of the pink, where the ones that were already pink are getting a second layer, which causes that to be a deeper color. And then, of course, the dark one that was with the dark ink. So you end up with like levels of pink. And then I also put a dab of this petunia, like in the middles here, just to give it some more depth. Okay. And I do the same thing with my leaves. I use the light green, and this is my favorite, my favorite green. So I do that. I don't cover every inch. I leave some out. So that I can get that, when I put my second layer on, those will be really light. Okay. Then when I put my dark layer, I do it where I want to see some darkness. Not everywhere again. Okay. Now I'm going to go back with my light one again and pull those colors in together. Like pull that dark up. And then the white spots are going to be even lighter. You won't see it as much right now, but once the colors dry, you will see like the 3 different shades of. Okay? Okay, and that's all I'm coloring on this one. On the watering can, I did the same thing as well. Kind of, oh shoot, I used the wrong one. Oh well, I can fix it. I'm using the light, jeez. I'm using the white one, the light one, and coloring in circles. Try not to go out like I just did. Looks like I might be getting a little low here. And I want to go up high enough so that when I put my flowers on, it won't show too much. Okay, so we'll fix this somehow. Okay, now I'm going to go to my dark color. color in here. There might be a shadow. Maybe a little on this edge. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my light and pull that all back in. So I'm pulling some of that dark down with it. Okay, so see how it's kind of got some dark and some light in there? Those whiter spots are only getting the one color, this layer here, where the other ones, the darker, the gray that I put down first, that one is going to get deeper because of doing this. And I want to pull this color out right here. So kind of, see that? And I'm going to go back over this. Okay, so I got a little bit of depth there. Now I want to make it look like it's got a little rust on it. So I'm taking the brush end of light soft suede, and I'm going to kind of color in a couple spots. And I want it to make it look like it's got a little rust on it. Like it's starting to tarnish. Okay. Now I'm going to take my color lifter and lift some of that color out. And it's going to start to look a little bit more like rust. See that? Does that look a little rusty? I think I'm going to put a little bit of color back in here. And lift it again gently. There we go. So it kind of looks like it's got a little bit of rust on it. Okay? Okay, so now I'm going to stamp color and die cut or fussy cut your images and set them aside. So I'm going to cut out these two images. You see that? See, my thing is still buffering, so I can't see what you can see. If I did, I would know. I could see where I need to place everything. Okay. I lost my piece of tape, so I'm going to do one at a time here. Stampin' blends, there are also a color lifter for the blends that she's using. Oh, I didn't see your question. Yeah, what kind of pen? It's called the markers that I'm coloring with are Stampin' blends. The marker that I just used is called a color lifter. See, it says color lifter. So you're able to take out some of your color so you don't you don't have it so dark. And when that dries, it's going to look a little better, so you'll see. Okay, so now I'm going to cut. Hi, Elizabeth. I'm glad you joined us. Okay, I'll cut these out. Okay. So glad I have this little machine. I don't have to run away. I can just do it right here. Okay. This is a relatively easy card to do. That's a nice fun fold. I like it. I like the fun fold. Okay, so now I cut my flowers out. Okay, I can throw that away. These are the pieces I need. Okay, so that's the end of clue number 3. Clue number 4 says center and adhere the embossed 2 by 2 5/8 onto the 2 3/4. So what we're doing is embossing this. This is a new embossing folder called Country Lace, and that's what the paper is. Do you see the resemblance? So this is Country Lace. And I'm going to center this and glue it as it says to do. And because this is embossed, you want to make sure you get enough glue on it, on the flat surfaces, so that it sticks well. So I tend to put a little bit extra. Okay. So now I got that centered. And it says place dimensionals on the back top portion. So you decide what side is your top, okay? So you're going to be putting this over here. And it's going to touch the bottom of the card. So you want dimensionals only above this line here, okay? So I'm going to use that little bubble. Yep, I'm not going to go below this bubble here. Okay. So I'm going to put 3 dimensionals across what's going to be the bottom, where it's going to adhere. Excuse me. And 3 along the top. Okay. Now it says to center and adhere to the lower portion of the front flap. That would be the lower portion of the front of the flap. Say that fast. And you're allowing the bottom. It says allow the bottom of the piece to match the bottom of the card. Because if you don't, say we put it up here, then the card's not going to stand up. So you've got to make sure that this aligns with the bottom. And you want to be centered left to right and flush with the bottom of your card. Okay? And the bottom ones I think are going to be just a hair too low, so I'm going to move them up just a hair. If the paper wants to let me take them off. Of course not. Okay. So let's adhere this to that card. Okay, Nancy? Okay, so I'm going to center it left to right as best I can. Make it flush with the bottom of my card. Looks like I need to move it over just a hair. Darn. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now the card stands up like that. So that's what we call the fun fold card. Okay, so it'll stand up. And if we put it too high, the card would be, at an angle like that. Okay, so centering it here, the lower portion to the front flap. Allow the bottom piece to match the bottom of the card. Okay, now we're going to start clue number 5. Now we're going to mount these onto this card front. So this is going to go like this and like that. That's okay if it sticks over because there won't be a problem. Okay. And I glued my bench down and then I used the dimensions for the rest of them. So I'm going to just double check and make sure where I want this, that it doesn't go too high above it, but that's good. That's good. So let's do my bench right here. So right around that one there. I'm going to just put glue on the 4 legs. Center it. Are you watching, Elizabeth, or are you... Hi, Sandy. How you doing? Are you watching, Sandy, Elizabeth, or are you following along? Okay, so now I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of my teapot. This set is just adorable. I can't wait to make more things with it. There's so many different pieces to it. I'm going to try making some more this week. And I'm going to just put a little one up over here, and maybe over here, because I don't want it flapping too much. Just make sure I don't go off. You can see it. Yeah. Okay. Let me take my backs off. Sandy, you playing along or are you just watching? Okay, so I'm going to center this. Oh, shoot. And all that mix up, I forgot to put I was supposed to put twine before I stuck this. I will have to. There's no mistakes. There's only unique creations, remember? So let me figure something out. So this too has got some small parts. So I'm gonna put a couple larger dimensionals, and then I'll put some smaller ones. Put a smaller one right up there. Make sure it doesn't show. Oh. Okay. Now I'm going to tear that right around here. Isn't that cute? I like it. I don't like my bench, but I like that. Good. Okay, so that's the end of number 5. Now number 6 says, stamp a sentiment and die cut or fussy cut it out for the front flap. We're going to put a sentiment over here. So I chose this sentiment right here, sending love. So that out. And I've got a scrap piece of paper. Come, I didn't have my directions on there. Didn't have it in there to put that ribbon. I apologize, guys. Thank you, Elizabeth. I like this set. This is going to be one of my new favorites. Okay, so to make sure that you get your dies cut straight, you put it on you put it face down on a line, and you make sure that it's straight, and then you pick it up. Okay, this one is not a big deal because I am going to fussy cut this out after. So let me make sure I got enough ink. Okay. Take my stamp off. Put it over there for now. Now, as I've said a million times, turn your paper, not your scissors. You get a better effect when you turn the paper than when you try to do it with the scissors, because otherwise you kind of hack it. A little ink on my hands there. Oops, that probably went right off the screen, huh? I get so involved with it that I don't even notice that I'm pulling it closer and closer to me. Yeah, if you turn the paper and not the scissors, you get a much smoother cut. There we go. Okay, that stamp is part of that Country Flowers. It's got some really nice ones. This one here, you can put it on the buckets. Best friend ever, with heartfelt sympathy. I love the cursive in that. Sending love, so lucky to know you. It's a nice stamp set. Okay, because this is so thin, I take the edges of my dimensionals and I just cut a strip off of it. So I'm sure that it's going to be thin enough. And I take the backing off, put it on here. Yeah, see how that works? And you take the other backing off. And I'm going to put that about here. Yep, that looks good. Okay. It says using dimensionals, attach the sentiment as desired to the top of the card. Okay, so now that I forgot, I'll show you the one that I did as a sample. I wanted to go across like that, but I'll just, what I'm going to do is make a bow, but I want a double bow. So I'm going to fold my, twine, cut it, and I'm going to make a bunny ear, and another bunny ear. See if I can do this right. Nope, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my little bow maker. And I don't want it this big. I want it, yeah, that's good enough, I think. So with this bow maker, you do right over left. Got 2 strings here, so it's a little bit more difficult. And then, come on, right over left. Then that right one goes under and over. And then you pull it taut in the middle, and you tie a knot. Simple as that. It's a lot easier than doing the bunny ears, I think. Okay. And having the double one makes it a little bit harder. Okay, and you just pull it, and then you cut that one off on the end here. Okay. Now I can attach that here if I'd like. I'm going to use a glue dot. And because the glue dots are much bigger than what I need, I take the glue dot and I roll it. So I get like a burrito. I put it on the back, or I'm actually going to just put this on here. Okay, and then I can just put my bow right on top of that. Isn't that cute? And then I wanted to embellish it, so I'm using the new In Color resin dots, and I want to match that pink. And this pink matches, pretty much matches up. So I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool. And of course, I'm going to put a couple over here. And I'm going to put a small one about there. Okay, now the last step, okay, that was clue number 6, right? Clue number 7 says take that 2 5/8 by 4 3/4 very vanilla or white and place it behind this flap. So what you're going to do is you're going to place it behind the flap like this, okay? Center it as best you can, okay? And the reason why we're doing this is because we don't want it to show when the card is closed, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my glue on right now. Of course. Now I'm going to close the bottom of the card up, making sure that I'm still aligned, and then I'm going to close it. Okay. And now I can do a little fussing around with it. Make sure I'm straight. There we go. And now when I close this card, you don't see that, but you'll be able to write a message on the back, on the inside here. And it won't show when the card is closed. A little spot on there or something. Okay, it looks a little bit crooked. Okay, so that way the card is, you see only the front of the card. And then when you open it up, you see a little surprise. You can put a sentiment in there, and you can write your note in there. And it can stand up. Okay. So it says, put that piece behind there and lower this to see where you have to adhere onto the inside so it doesn't show when the card is closed. That's the whole idea. Okay, that's number 7. And I got ahead of myself. Clue number 8, embellish as desired. And that's what I did. And that is your card. Now your fun full card is complete. Take a picture of it and post it on the post that lists the materials. So you're going to post it on Shelly's Craft Cottage in the comments under this page. Okay, so they'll all be in the same place. I want to see what everybody does. That's the fun part about doing a fun fold or mystery card Monday, is because I give you the basic directions and you go from there with your own DSP and your own cardstock color and all that kind of stuff. And then when we see them all, they're totally different. So that's what I love about this. So thank you for joining me on this mystery card event number 18. And I hope to see you next week on April 29th for mystery card number 19. I thank you all for following and joining and commenting. Cute, 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 says Elizabeth. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And share this with your friends if you can. And I always remember, life is better when you craft, and there are no mistakes, just unique creations, as you saw. I just kind of, oh yeah, I want to show you the card that I originally made. So this is the card that I originally made, and I did the ribbon around this embossed piece. So, and no two, when you do the rust, no two are going to ever look the same. So that's the one I made. Get all the directions, and this is the one I just made. And thank you very much. See you next week. Thank you, Sandy. Bye-bye.